Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and it is time to share with you my March TBR. More specifically, my March Mystery Madness TBR. Now, I've got a few other things to read in addition to March Mystery Madness books. I've got some book club books. I have my reading goals for the year, which include author binges, which I'm going to stick with mysteries for that for the month of March. And I've got a middle grade trilogy that I want to finish, and I tried to pick my most mysterious, adventuresome one for the month of March because I want to try to accomplish not only the March Mystery Madness prompts, but also as many of the middle grade March prompts as I can. In fact, I have a video coming very soon that I am calling Middle Grade March Mystery Madness. Now, I didn't coin that phrase. My friend Elizabeth Tyree from the channel Elizabeth Tyree coined that phrase, and she is my guest on that video, and that's going to be coming very soon, so be sure you watch for that because we are going to be recommending middle grade mysteries. So what I have for you today is everything that I plan to read as of right now. I will probably add some or take away some or whatever, but let's just go over the prompts, and I want to show you what I'm planning to read. So the first March Mystery Madness prompt is single, and we interpreted that to mean single word title. However, you can interpret that any other way you want. If there is something in the title that sounds like single, like the word one or once or the word single, you know, that's perfectly acceptable too. But I'm going with single word titles, and I have two. The one that I'm mainly planning to read is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is something I need to read for book club a couple months from now, and so I may as well go ahead and get it done. And I've heard several other people talk about reading that, so it would also count for the prompt person, since it's a person's name. And then I also have Unraveled by Maggie Sefton. I didn't even think about this one until I was doing my video, which was all about mysteries with single word titles, and I realized I was up to this one in the Kelly Flynn Knitting Mysteries, and so I've got it on the list. Whether I get to it or not remains to be seen, but it's number 9 or 10 or 11. I don't know. It's somewhere in there, and it's a series I've been reading for several years. I don't love it as much as I used to, but I still want to finish the series. So I've got two possibilities, and maybe both, for single. Then the prompt number, I have another book club book that we're supposed to read later on in the year, so I may as well go ahead and knock this one out too. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn, Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I don't know anything about it, but I would love to go ahead and check that one off the list. Then the next one is Person, and I would like to I would really like to binge this series and get as many of these read as I could. However, I don't see as many of them on Hoopla as there used to be on audio. I was hoping that I could just buzz through several of these, and there's only 2 or 3 more that I haven't read that are on there. This is one of them, Mr. Monk and the Dirty Cop. I've got several of these on my shelf. I would like to just go ahead and read through the ones I have of these and go ahead and pass these on to our used bookstore and move those off my shelf. They're a lot of fun, and I love them, but I don't need to keep them. And so that is a goal. Then I have a couple of other authors I want to binge, but let me first finish going through the prompts. Now, for place, I have the brand new Granny Read Mystery by G.A. McKevett. This is book 3 in the Granny Read series, and that's a spin-off series of the Savannah Read series. And this is, I was looking at this sticker. This just came from the library. It's brand new, and it's called Murder at Mabel's Motel. And the first one in this series was a Christmassy kind of theme, and then the next one was a Halloween theme, and then this one I don't know that there's any theme, but anyway, it's a place. Mabel's Motel is definitely a place, fictitious as it may be. And so then the next one is Weather. Oh, I have another one for place, and I don't have a physical copy of it, but I'm going to read it on my Kindle. And actually, I've got a couple that I'm going to read on my Kindle. The one for place is by Barbara Venkataraman. It is book 6 in the Jamie Quinn mystery series. It's called Malice in Miami. Miami is definitely a place. And then backing up a little bit, I've got one for number. It's called First Call, and it is by Janice J. Richardson. It's book 4 in the Spencer Funeral Home Niagara Cozy Mystery series. And so I don't know if Janice sent me this one or if I bought this one. She sent me the first 2 or 3, and I read those and loved them. It is a really good cozy mystery series set in a funeral home, and so this is the only other one that I haven't read, so I want to catch up with that series. And so then moving back down to weather. The one I am most likely to read is The Woman Who Walked in Sunshine by Alexander McCall Smith. Now, I'm not quite to this one, but I can get them on audio. I think I have 2 more ahead of this one in the series to read before I get to this one, and so I'm just going to plan on blowing through all 3 of these. They are such fun, comfort reads, a little bit of mystery, a lot of wisdom, and this one, since it's got sunshine in the title, I think that can count as weather. Now, this one may or may not be counted as weather. I don't know. It's called Wildfire by Anne Cleeves. This is from the Shetland something mystery series. I can't even think now. Anyway, I need to read this for book club. This is farther down in the series, and I hate to start in the middle, but this was what they picked for book club. It's the Shetland Island series, and I don't know anything about it. I've never read anything by this author, but I'm thinking wildfire, you know, fire is perpetuated or stopped according to the weather. So, you know, it goes wild if there's a wild wind. You know, if it's blustery, then fire can get out of control. If it starts pouring down rain, then it's probably going to stop. So weather and fire go hand in hand, I think. And so I think that could count as weather. If I can get that on audio, then I will go ahead and listen to that, because that'll, you know, get me quite a bit farther into my book club list for the year. And by the way, if y'all are interested in hearing about what all my book clubs are reading this year, I still would like to do that video. I just haven't gotten around to it. Then for color, I have a couple of options here. One of them is Shades of Earl Grey. Now, I think gray, the color gray is spelled Gray, but we know that this is a play on words, so I think this would be totally fine. Another one that I have on my list, I don't have a copy of, is Death with a Dark Red Rose by Julia Buckley. That's book 5, I believe, in the Writer's Apprentice series. So that would catch me up with that series, and I would like to read that. Then for time, I've got a couple. Here's an old Book 1 Cozy's Club book that I never got to back when we read it. It's Mad Season by Nancy Means Wright. So season, I think, you know, that's talking about a time of year, so that would count as time. And then I also have The Morning Show Murders by Al Roker and Dick, is it Lochte? So this is book 1 in this series of 3 books, I think, by Al Roker. And I don't even know, Billy Blessing, is that the name of the series? It seems like it is. Anyway, morning show, morning, that would definitely count as time. And then for space, I have the first in the Cackleberry Club mysteries, Eggs in Purgatory. Purgatory, I don't believe in, but some people do. Believe what you want. It's that space between this life and the afterlife. So I think that could count as space. So I would love to binge this series. I can get several of them on Hoopla on audio. So Laura Childs is an author that I want to try to binge on in March and get through as many of hers as I can. I mentioned Shades of Earl Grey. This is not on audio, but I would like to go ahead and make some progress in this one. I had wanted to make some progress in the scrapbooking series, but I've only read the first one, and they start showing up on audio about book 5, I think, somewhere around there. And so it's been so long since I read the first one that I think I would just go ahead and not try to read from 3 of her series. I will just pick up the next of the Tea Shop Mysteries and let it go at that. Then the bonus prompt is to read a book that you were drawn to just because of the title. And I already forgot what I was going to read for that. I don't even know. If I think of it later, I will tell you. I had something, but now I don't know what it was. Anyway, so moving on. For middle grade March, I want to finish the Luck Uglies trilogy, and I've already read this first one. Both this first book and the second book both have silhouettes on the cover. So I'm going to let that second book, which is called Fork-Tongued Charmers, count for silhouette. And then because this series does have strong family ties, the third book I'm going to count for my family prompt, and it is called Rise of the Ragged Clover, and that's also from the Luck Uglies trilogy. And then this one has a little bit of mystery element, I think, definitely some adventure, and I'm pretty sure they travel in this book. And this is the last book that I need to read in the Last Survivor series. It's called The Shade of the Moon by Susan Beth Pfeffer. So I've had that on my list for a while, and it's a series that I want to finish. The next one is Fairy Tale, and the last one is to read a book that is written in the decade that you were born. I was born in the 60s, and I'm currently reading the Chronicles of Prydain by Lloyd Alexander. These were written in the 60s. I am in the middle of the Castle of Lear right now, and I still have 2 more to go to finish the series. So if I finish this one this month, I'll move on to the next one, and that will just count for Fairy Tale and Decade. It doesn't really, I don't know of a specific fairy tale that this is based on, but it's definitely fairy tale-esque, so I'm going to go with that. And then I mentioned my author binges. I'm going to binge on Laura Childs. Now, in my original video where I talked about authors I was going to binge, I think I said Kate Carlisle was going to be the other one that I read a lot of in March. But the first few are missing on Hoopla. I could have sworn they were on there when I first checked this out. And I've read this first one, but I was looking back at my Goodreads, and I didn't write anything, but I rated it 2 stars, and I don't remember hating it that much. So I don't know if that's an accident or what. I'd kind of like to read this again before I move on to the rest. So I am moving this to the back burner, and I think the series that I will try to binge, or the author I will try to binge in March for mysteries, is Monica Ferris. I've got, I think, this whole series now that's the Needlecraft mysteries, and I've read the first one, Cruel World, and I'm not even sure which order these go in. I think Framed in Lace is next, and then maybe Unraveled Sleeve and A Stitch in Time. I could look and see. This is 3, so Unraveled Sleeve must be 4, I think. Yeah, this is 4. This one's 3. Anyway, there's like 19 books, 16 or 19 in the series, and I'll just get as many done as I can, and that'll be great. Then for book club, I am reading one that I'm also doing for I left it in the other room. It's my read-along, and several of you guys have already said you're joining in. It's The Guest List by Lucy Foley. So please, everyone, join in. It's going to be great. I've already set up at least one thread on our Goodreads group, which is Mystery Madness, and I will divide that out, I think, into 4 sections so that we can do 1 section a month. It's about a 300-page book, so about 75 pages per week is going to be the goal. You can, of course, read it faster if you want. Just comment on each section as you finish it, and I will post a schedule of the actual chapters that I'm including in each of the 4 sections. I'm just going to divide it out over the month. So that's The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I've heard that it's kind of like And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, so I think that's going to be great. Then for my other book club, I've got to read The Huntress. It's by Kate somebody. I didn't write that down either. Anyway, I'll post it down below. So that's I want to jump in here real quick because I was just about to forget to tell you about another mystery I'm planning to read. This is a debut novel, cozy mystery, by author Jessica Thompson called A Caterer's Guide to Love and Murder. And apparently it has some great recipes in here. And she sent this to me a few months ago, and I had almost let it slip my mind. So I promised her I would read it during March Mystery Madness. Main goals that I have, that pretty much encompasses my reading goals for the year, as well as the prompts for both of the big readathons. And for March of the Mammoths, I'm in the middle of reading the Bible in 90 days. So I think I can count that for March of the Mammoths. And so we're going with that. Anyway, that's all for this video. That is the predominant amount of books and the things that I'm planning to read. Like I said, it could change a little bit here and there, but that's it for that's the majority of what I'm planning to read for March. What are you planning to read for March? Let us know. Join our Discord group, join our Goodreads group. Let's chat in the comments. wherever you can find to chat about March Mystery Madness. Make a video. If you do videos, even if you don't do videos, make one. One of our hosts, Janelle from Too Fond of Books, last year, her very first BookTube video was her March Mystery Madness TBR. So we would love to see you here. Be sure you use the hashtag March Mystery Madness so we can find you. And that's all for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.